Rob Grimes with the IFPTA, and I'm really pleased today to have Brian Whitney with me, who's the Chief Revenue Officer of Tray. And they are one of our latest industry supporter partner members. So welcome to the IFPTA.
Thanks, Rob. Very happy to be here. Excited to be here and work with the whole team at IFPTA.
So as you take a look at what the future looks like in the next few years, you know, what are the trends that you see in the industry that in fact, well, okay, look, the trends in general, which I could have that conversation with you anyway without talking about other things, but those trends also and how you see Tray in fact responding to and reacting and meeting those trends.
Yeah, we actually talk about this quite frequently, about what are the latest trends, and there's some trends that we're investing in internally to grow and looking at some ways that we can adapt some technologies. We're using a lot of them kind of behind the scenes to drive our automated test procedures and different things like that to ensure that when we deliver things that they work first time out of the box every time. So that's one thing that we're doing. I think there's some other things in terms of, you know, you hear a lot about AI. That's probably the number one buzzword you hear in the marketplace is AI, and I want to do something AI, or you know, my POS is doing AI. What we see about that is that AI to you probably means something different to AI to you or other people in the marketplace. And everybody's got a different vision of how they want to implement that. What it's key for us to make sure that we're doing is that we're building a robust platform that brings in those concepts in some areas, but moreover gives the brands the way to integrate those visions how they need to. So if you feel like you need a AI-driven price engine, then I should have an API that supports how you want to use your AI-driven
But you got to bring that into your ecosystem because otherwise it's not going to be secure.
Correct. We have to be able to bring that way in a way that, you bring that data in a way that is secure, is reliable, isn't causing any mismatch or customer confusion. You know, the POS is kind of the center of that transaction world. So when that price comes in, we need to make sure that it accurately goes to all the different price channels that surround us, self-service, mobile, web ordering, third-party delivery, and make sure that that's accurately reported, bringing that in and making it easy for the brand and the operator to do that. So that's our number one vision, is to make sure that we're building this core centerpiece of the transaction ecosystem that can support whatever growth it is, because I guarantee you, having been through this market long enough to know that was beaconing and geofencing and then mobile apps and everything, that AI is just the next thing.
Well, nobody understands.
And the next thing is
right?
the next thing. So if we go chasing every next thing and go building and saying we're going to become experts in that, then we're missing the next thing. We have to build a platform that enables us and then take advantage of those as we.
And because you brought it up, within what you offer somebody if they want it, do you have your own back office inventory and ordering and everything? Are you doing labor scheduling? Are you doing all the different modules, or are there some pieces that?
We really focus in on core POS. So it's core POS, menu management, sales data reporting, and time and attendance. That's our core system. We have some capabilities on the outside of that that are, I would say, basic. We have a basic loyalty, we have a basic guest, we have a
but
basic
the interesting
reservation.
thing is that in your target market, they probably aren't going to want to switch those things anyway.
That's
They
correct.
probably have. So I get that.
We hook into those systems where we can help build a robust tech stack for our operators. We're not trying to be everything to everybody all the time. We are really trying to be the best point of sale that we can possibly be for this segment.
So, you know, putting aside AI, which is really a way of, you know, the back engine, so to speak, and how you look at things. There's other things that people are talking about right now within the full service space. So, you know, some of them have to do with robotics. I mean, every trade show I go to, they've got robotic servers, you know, assistants, you know, helping to bring food out, right? Okay, maybe 10 years before that really happens, but then you have the delivery part of it. And a curbside pickup, which isn't even delivery, that's actually within the store. You have the catering functions, you know. Are there some trends that you're now seeing, perhaps, you know, COVID-related trends that have, well, delivery was one of them, of course, but that is one of those areas that you saw the pivot to? Because if you really got started in 2020, boy, you were right at the, you know,
we were right
start
there.
Everything, right? So
we were
things
right there.
changed from where they probably thought they were in 2020 to where they are today in 2023, 2024.
Well, I think, look, it's redundant to say that the world changed, but I'd love to think that we're now in this next era, this post-COVID era. And we're starting to see a trend back to what does that look like? And what's interesting to me is that we're drifting back towards the same things that have always been important: creating a great experience for the guest, and creating a good environment for the employees, and making sure that we're controlling our costs. What's interesting to me is that great experience for the guest, the great experience for the employees, and the employee costs are changing dramatically given societal and governmental pressures. So how does our technology stack enable us to do that?
Thank you for asking yourself the question I was going to just ask you, because it's one thing to talk about the industry, saying great experience
Right,
and
right,
labor costs
right.
and everything. But the real question here is, okay, great. So how are you, in fact, how is your technology addressing that?
You know, I think we're addressing it in a number of ways. And the reason why we have to address it in a number of ways is because that means something different. The way in our world, Brooklyn Dumpling Shop or Arctic Circle or IHOP view their way of differentiating and serving their guests in a way varies greatly. So is that a pay at table device? Is that an order at table device that can also support payment? Is that line busting in the drive-thru? Is that self-service? Is that a cashier terminal that when my labor costs are too high, I can literally press 2 buttons and turn it into a self-service device? Is that a self-service only enterprise that you never order from a human? You order at a kiosk or on a mobile app and you pick up at a locker. I think those journeys, as those brands and those guests and those employees are going down, are very different. What's been unique about Tray is that in all of those solutions, that's something that Tray can deliver, and can deliver out of the box with our core platform. So, you know, what's fun about what I do is that I have a client will come to me and say, well, I've always wanted to be able to serve my guests like this. And 99 times out of 100, we can find a way to do that.
You could try something different.
We're able to do that inside of the platform just because of the capabilities of a modern system that's cloud-driven, Android-based. The flexibility it gives me to be able to match my solutions with client needs is I don't want to say endless and limitless, but it's pretty dang close.
So, all right. So I'm just sort of recapping in my head,
Yep.
you know, this. And I got the history in here, and boy, they've done a lot of things in the last 4 years, especially if you take 2 years of it and you sit there and you go, okay. And I get, you know, the unique capability here. So one of the unique capabilities is the industry segment you're going after, which is not an easy one. So full service, you know, restaurants, I got that. The second one is obviously the ability to able to implement actually totally across the board a new software platform without having to change the hardware, and that is a very interesting concept that most people can't deal with. The other piece is you're focusing primarily on the primary point of sale is at the core, and because your customer base, you're sitting there saying, you know, back office, loyalty, whatever, sure, we can help you with that if you want. We'll give you the APIs to do it, but chances are most of these people are doing that on their own. You're not causing them to have to go in and use you for the payment platform, which gives complete flexibility. You are controlling the stack, you know, that's coming there because of the cloud-based. And you also have an expansion plan that's going global, which I think is important to realize because there are these 2-unit groups that go global, you know, because somebody has a great concept and they do it. So
Never know.
but it's much easier to do, by the way, and you're not, you know, covered by the hardware side of it. It's much easier to do that, and also does a support thing that's in there. So what did I miss on the sort of the key bullet points?
All I was sitting here thinking is that I want to grow my sales team by 20%. You're hired. Let's go.
Well,
No,
then you're only going to get 10%.
I think what's interesting to me is that, you know, getting back to the original thing of why I joined Tray, I think one of the reasons why I joined Tray is that, you know, in most of the other roles that I've been in, you run up against a hard brick wall of not being able to meet a customer's needs because you don't have the resources to deliver it, or there's not a process, or the tech stack isn't there to be able to do that.
The tech stack isn't there.
By
It's probably the bigger reason.
By starting in the cloud-based, Android-driven, full-service platform, when we pivoted to quick service, the only thing we had to do was a gift card integration. We did that in about 6 weeks.
Drive-through.
So drive-through was there because of the way we built our table service of order here, pay there,
Right,
order now,
okay, I
pay
get
later. You inherited that. The timer integrations were there because we already had those
timers at
timestamps.
table.
So it was very easy for us to deploy in that segment. I've seen too many other people go from the air point of, okay, I want to be a counter service solution, and now I want to add drive-through. Well, now I've got to rebuild my transaction. Now I do table.
And what
I
we
gotta
do,
rebuild
and
it
what we
again.
do know, by the way, is that what used to be defined as full service has completely changed because they now do have, they may or may not have drive-through, but really what is, delivery. It's like drive-through, come through the back door and pick up and go. But the idea of lockers that you've already mentioned, the idea of curbside. These are all things that are being borrowed from other industries, so you have the flexibility.
And these are things.
And it's about the tech stack.
And these are things that we're able to do now. So, we have an order status monitor integration. So when you show up to pick up your to-go order, you can see your name right on the screen and know whether it's in prep or whether it's ready. So you can eliminate that queue inside your restaurant. We have text-based notifications and things like that. So those features and functions check the box going through the list of different kind of capabilities. It's not to be too hokey about it, but it really is going back to the thing of what's important to you as a brand and what does your technology need to do to serve the guests the way that it's important to you? IHOP is a American institution, and we are honored to be part of that solution, but they have a way that they want to serve their guests that's a little bit different. And so we need to be able to support that while we support the rest of the market, and that's one of the fun parts about being where we are.
Well, look, I get it. You came into a position at a very interesting time. You made a decision to really go back right into this space because you saw the promise and certainly the key points, I certainly understand there. So if I've heard about all those points of differentiation and I've heard about, why Tray and why you would make that move, I guess I should ask you the question, why the IFBTA?
Well, I think part of our growth in this segment is aligning with organizations that are strong in that segment and that we can align together to add value to each other so that we can help you in your mission to educate and we can be part of that vision. We know that we're honored to be part of this segment, and so we want to do our part to be participants in that. And I think from whether it's being exposed to different partners and customers that can bring new ideas or market trends, to be aware of innovating solutions that are coming to market. I think there's a lot that IFBTA can bring to any of its members. And so we're really honored to be a part of this enterprise.
Well, I appreciate that, but I would tell you that there's two reasons why we would be honored to have Tray, to be a part of us as well. One is because you are, in fact, bringing a new type of thinking and innovation to the industry in there, and a new process, a new way for people to connect and engage, but on a very personal and selfish basis, having somebody like you, with your background and experience sitting at the table, along with, by the way, your counterparts who have made the choice to join Tray from other industry things, really makes a difference for our membership as well, because at the end of the day, people are sitting there together sharing information, and your wealth of knowledge, those of the others that have decided to join Tray, and then Tray, from the founder, Peter, bringing his view of the industry, which was an outside perspective in, I think is something that the IFBTA benefits from as well. So I want to thank you for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure to have Brian Whitney, the Chief Revenue Officer of Tray, join us today as the newest industry supporter partner member. And welcome to the IFBTA, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rob. It's been a pleasure.